Hi, Dave. This is Christy Tchaikovsky, just returning your call.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi there.
Hi.
What
can I do for you, ma'am?
You said you were going to go over a timeline with me. Is that something you want to do over the phone, or?
I can do it any way that you like, ma'am.
All right. Let me grab some paper so I could take some notes here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, give me another second. I'm not at my home right now. I know it. Oh, hang on, baby. Hold on.
Ma'am, I have to leave here in about 20 minutes. Would it be more convenient if I called you tomorrow morning? Hello?
I'm sorry, what was that? I had to step away.
I have to leave here in about 20 minutes. Would it be more convenient if I contacted you tomorrow morning?
Yeah, that's fine. I got a paper, though, unless you don't think that'll be enough time.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that at 5 o'clock our time, I'm going to walk away from the phone. How's that?
All right, sounds
Okay,
fair.
good. All right, let's start with April the 12th. I'm sure you remember that day. That was the day that the sheriff's deputies came to your house, took children, and arrested you.
Mm-hmm.
Then by your report, you remained in jail for the next 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, orders of protection were filed the next day on April the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And a protective custody hearing was set for April the 16th at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not you were present on April the 13th, I'm not able to tell, but
Nope.
I do know that you were present in the courtroom on April the 16th for the protective custody hearing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the fathers, I believe it was Samantha's father, was also present through his attorney, and according to the court orders, you were advised of your right to an attorney, as well as the additional court hearing for jurisdiction that was set on June the 4th.
Okay.
In the interim period of time, there were, in the interim between April the 13th, April the 16th and June the 4th, there were family support team meetings.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was held on April 14th, which you were not present at, and I assume that was because you were still in jail.
Yeah.
There was also one then set for April the 19th, which you did attend.
Mm-hmm.
And the felony charges then were filed, I believe it's on April the 13th. You were formally arraigned on July the 15th. In the interim period of time, there was that protective custody hearing that I mentioned, as well as the court received applications for ICPC, transfer of custody of the children to the two biological fathers on May the 18th of this year. Collaterally, you had visits with the girls on April the 27th, May the 5th, May the 12th, and May the 19th. The 30-day family support team meeting was held on May the 20th.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I know all these dates. I guess I'm just, I'm a little confused. What I was told yesterday was that I have no rights anymore, and apparently there was...
Well, that's not entirely true, ma'am. When you say you have no rights. What rights are you interested in asserting? You still have all of your parental rights. They have just been limited somewhat under the existing orders.
That's not what I was told yesterday. So I was just wondering when this happened, which was why I guess he was supposed to get back to me and explain to me the chain of events. So, yeah, I'm just a little confused. I mean, I appreciate you doing this for me, but I guess I'm just confused and about this. You know, you're telling me that I do have rights, but I was told yesterday I don't, that I lost that sometime between April and now, but no one, bothered to tell me.
Ma'am, it depends upon the type of a right that you're talking about.
Okay, well, how about the legal authority of the family courts? I mean, is it typical for them to just walk into people's homes without investigation, without crimes, without evidence, and just take someone's children?
On the basis of the allegations that the children made, yes, ma'am.
The children didn't make those allegations. They were made by people that were out of state.
Dispute, ma'am, that was resolved back in June.
Well, that's not true, and in fact, they won't even give me a copy of the court transcripts where they actually testified that those allegations were not true. And that's in the audio archive that they will not give me a copy of. They sent me my money back and told me they were not available to me at this time. Do you have any idea how I can get a copy of that audio archive? I think that's probably pretty important that Emily Nichols and what was the other? Uh-huh.
You would like a transcript?
I would love that.
Of June the 4th.
June 4th, yes.
Okay. And you're prepared to pay for that?
I already paid for it. They sent me my money back. They won't give it to me.
But let me find out what the cost of that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went down to the courthouse and paid for it, and then I got some funny letter and then called in, and they tried to explain they didn't know why it wasn't available to me, but they just weren't giving it to me.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you, ma'am?
Well, let's see. Being as how I was just I guess appointed representation or someone that is willing to help or talk to me about this. I have not had anyone talk to me about this at all since day one, and it appears that things, for instance, December 10th, there was a family court hearing, but nobody decided...
There was a review hearing, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, nobody decided to tell me anything about it until December 6th, 4 days prior, knowing full well that I was out of town. So is that typical to just schedule dates within 4 days?
No, ma'am. As a matter of fact, the notice indicates that it was mailed to you at I don't know what address, and I don't know whether or not that address was still valid, but it was mailed to you on December the 1st.
Okay. What I received, there was a note at my door December 6th, and I do have a copy of that. The worker, Rebecca, has not returned any calls since August. So that was a total surprise.
Okay.
So what, do I get to even know what happened December 10th or what it was about and what my next steps are? Because nobody has given me any options like, oh, if you do this, you can have your children back, or there hasn't been any such...
Do you have, and I have not seen a copy of a service agreement, but I was told, I read in the reports that you had attended a family support team meeting and that a service agreement was reached apparently sometime in May or June.
And what does this service agreement supposedly entail?
It's essentially a form, but what it starts out with is Children's Division will do this, and mother or parent agrees to do this or that or the other thing.
I remember that. And
okay, you have a copy of that.
What was required of me was to show up at the court, to show up at the meetings, and everything I already did. And then at the end of the agreement, they just wrote another one without there was no, after you do this, you can have your children back or we'll talk about it. There was no such thing. It was basically a never-ending, you agree to do what we tell you, but we're not going to let you talk to your children.